Hi guys, it's your girl Tishay, and I'm bringing you the most recently released episode of Crazy in Love, of course, from our star girl, Christian and Blueface. Okay, of course, this episode is It's Complicated, and if you're very much interested in, getting to run through the episode with me, as well as my opinion on what I think on certain events that happened on the episode. Please go ahead to first of all smash the subscribe button, like and share if you're new to my channel, and even if you're not. And without wasting much time, let's delve right in. So the first scene is actually Christian returning from her Oklahoma journey, and whilst on their way, Sean finally gets to spill some tea to her best friend in the car with her, who is also of course her designer. And she basically said that she and Blue had gotten into some kind of misunderstanding that led to her being blocked. Now, according to her, if you had watched my video on the previous episode, you'd see that episode ended with Sean quite unhappy about the fact that Blue had kind of abandoned her and gone to Vegas to have fun, leaving her or not actually informing her, basically. So this kind of stirred some emotions, and she ended up crying that night. Now, apparently, after her attorney's visit, she decided to pay back, basically, because according to her, she revealed that in a conversation with Blue, she had kind of informed him that she was going to go to Baltimore, since the city she had currently been in is just 3 hours away from Baltimore. Now, apparently, this didn't sit well with Blue, because he decided to bring up past grievances or the previous episode he had encountered with Sean's family. He also mentioned that he had actually incurred a lot of losses because of Sean, and of course Sean responded to that, saying that she had also incurred losses for him, and making reference to her missing tooth. Now, Sean went ahead to say that she kind of asked her brother Mookie to back down for Blue, basically letting her brother know that if he had picked a fight with Blue, he was indirectly picking a fight with her or going against her relationship. And she also stated that yes, her father kind of got riled up, but Blue was supposed to understand that that was coming from that was hurt coming from a father's perspective, or he was just doing it because he was trying to protect his daughter. So basically, she said that she expected Blue to just take it to the chin and let it slide, and not necessarily bring that dispute or whatever transpired between him and her family into their conversation. Now, this was a topic because Blue did not just stop at complaining or recapping his bad experience with Sean's family, but also he had kind of blocked her on he had kind of blocked her and deleted, according to Sean, he had also deleted their video from his page, and that left them to just chatting on the gram. and texting. Sean being Sean, she decided to, spaz out and retaliate, um, after being abandoned by Blue on his or for his Las Vegas trip. So she decided that she was going to hang out with her friend by name DJ Ivy, I think. But yeah, she asked her friend to come around, and they hung out. They actually drove out and stopped by a party that was already almost finished, but they decided to stop by and they had a good time. Now this didn't go well, or this didn't end well for Sean, because apparently the next day the Zeus production team was kind of like alerted that there was some kind of physical altercation that had happened between Sean and Blue. Now, prior to this day or this morning, rewinding to the night when she went out partying, she had kind of like called Blue on her way to the party, who had basically informed her that he was going to be around the next morning, and asked her to ensure, I wouldn't use the word ensure, but kind of like asked her to also be around, or to make sure that she was also at home the next morning, which, if you ask me, gave a little bit of manipulative slash controlling, but I'm not going to dwell on that. So now, fast forwarding back to the morning that the Zeus production team was alerted of the physical altercation, we kind of saw like the police was already at Blue's house. It did seem like they were kind of rounding up and about to leave, and Sean was seen in Blue's I don't know if that was a Lambo, but fast car. She was actually inside his fast car, and the first thing I noticed was that Blue had a bruise, a cut at the back of his head, right? And he was basically just leaning over the door of his fast car and kind of like taunting Sean, who was inside, and did seem like she was trying to like hide herself or her face from the cameras. Now, when I took a closer look at Sean, I saw that she also had some bruises as well. It did seem like she had a black eye, bruises on her elbow, and also I think I saw her hand bleeding. So it did seem like they had actually engaged in a very serious physical altercation, because like it was like bruises and blood, because Blue was bleeding at the back of his head, and Sean was also bleeding as well. Now, like I said, Blue was outside basically taunting, and it was from his taunts that I got to like pick exactly what might have led to the physical altercation. Now, according to Blue, he said, or he basically was like calling Sean out as a bitch, and basically letting her know that she was a bitch because, first of all, she was previously acting tough, and now she was just trying to hide herself away in the car. And he basically also said that he said something like basically asking her why she was mad at what he called her when she was the one that called him first. Lou also kind of hinted that whatever had transpired between himself and Sean was basically kind of like a 50-50 situation, because according to him, based on all the things he was rambling on about, he basically said that Sean was mad about the fact that he kissed a girl, whereas she was out there partying and kissing on girls as well. So basically he said that he really didn't understand why Sean was mad about the fact that he kissed a girl when she was also out there kissing a girl, right? That she should pick a stance. She should choose where she wants to belong, if she wants to be a or she wants to be a girl, basically. Well, Blue had, it did seem like, if you ask me, Blue was kind of enjoying that moment, because I saw so much excitement from Blue, and it did seem like he really wanted the cameras to capture that scenario, because he kept encouraging the cameras to, like, video Sean, who was obviously trying to avoid the cameras. Now, I think after so much trial from Blue but failure, Blue ended up going back into the house. Now, when he went back into the house, he kind of like continued a conversation with Sean's cousin, and basically, in the conversation, he basically told the cousin that, if Sean wanted to act like a woman, that he could mellow down, right? But if she also wanted to act like a guy, then he was gonna have to, like, treat her like a guy, and they were gonna be like knot to knot, according to him. He basically said also that, if he allowed Sean to continue the way she was, that she was definitely going to, like, continuously ride on him, and he didn't want that, basically. The next scenes, I'm not gonna dwell on them, but before we finally call it to a close, I'd like us to talk about the fact that, after Sean had inflicted a head injury on Blueface, she tried. I would like to use the word try, because the steps I saw her take were not just very ridiculous, but also extremely appalling. So apparently, after sitting out in the car, and she finally decided to come back in and have a conversation with Blue, which obviously didn't work. But they kind of like didn't talk out their differences, but you know automatically settled their differences anyway. So after that, she did try to assist Blue with the bruise on the back of his head, and I saw her, first of all, I saw her using a tissue to wipe off the blood, and then I think I saw her with a tape trying to do whatever, only God knows what. And lastly, I saw her with a vacuum. She actually did try use a vacuum. According to her, she wanted to use the vacuum to get out the glass from Blue's hair. I was like, at that point, extremely appalled, because it did not just give obnoxious rather, it gave extremely childish. So I think what Blue said about Sean is extremely true, because when they actually did sit down to have a conversation, he went straight into letting her know that she couldn't articulate her feelings, and she's always not ready to communicate, and called her a kid. Based on the clip I watched, I have to say that I agree with Blue on that one, because like it really gave childish and very immature to me. Like Sean does have a lot of growing up to do, and I just really hope that she gets the guardians or guidance that she needs, the necessary guidance she needs to hasten that growth and mental maturity.